Sometimes the best devices are the ones that nobody's talking about. If you've never heard of TCL NXTPAPER devices, I definitely recommend checking them out, especially if you're somebody who suffers from eye strain, has low vision, and really wants a comfortable device to look at. They make tablets, they make smartphones, and I've also reviewed a previous model from them, the TCL NXTPAPER 40. I had that device for a bit of time and I had decided to sell it because it became too addictive. And that's to say that it's so easy on the eyes, I don't realize that I'm using the device. But now as time has gone on, I decided to return to TCL because I really enjoy these devices. These are my favorite devices in regards to eye care. Now this video is not sponsored. I'm going to emphasize that completely. I have no affiliate links, I have no affiliation with TCL, but I truly love these devices and I can attest that my eyes have never felt more comfortable when using this device. Now recently I've decided to purchase the TCL NXTPAPER 60 SE. There are numerous models of TCL devices and there is the SE version for the TCL 60 and I think the XE. The models may vary depending on where you live, which models are available, and so forth, but this is the one that was available to me. I live in France. I was able to purchase this device on Amazon directly, and I got it for about 227 euros, just to be open and transparent. I'm not sponsored by TCL in any way. This is my own personal device that I use every day, but I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions regarding the device. This is by no means the perfect device. I call it my perfect compromise device. I think overall this device is my dream device, and with the new features they've added compared to the older model that I had tested, I find that this is the perfect balance for me. If you're not familiar with the TCL NXTPAPER technology, basically this screen is magic. I'm going to say it's the best screen I've ever tested because not only does it imitate e-paper or e-ink, it really blocks blue light, it reduces glare, it has a beautiful matte texture to it. It just feels good. They have so many different options for eye care regarding the lighting, the brightness, so many settings. It's really designed for people who have eye strain issues, who may be low vision, who are very concerned with their eye health in general. As somebody who spends a lot of time looking at screens, it's really nice to have a screen that doesn't hurt my eyes in any way. It's really difficult to find that, and this is the one device that I can truly say really makes a difference. Now, concerning the display itself, it's 6.7 inches. This can be a positive for a lot of people or a negative. It is a large display. I'm generally someone who likes smaller displays, but as I've been using this device, I can appreciate the large display, especially when reading. I'm somebody who has to increase the font size, so having more screen real estate means that I can read more comfortably. Now, the one thing that really pushed me to order this device was the major upgrade that I had compared to the previous model I had tested. In the bottom right-hand corner, there is a switch. Now, this switch activates the NXTPAPER modes. Again, if you're not familiar with the NXTPAPER technology, it enables you to activate NXTPAPER modes, which can imitate e-paper, as well as color e-paper and max ink. Now, this switch, when you switch it, you'll see that you have the three different options. I generally go to the basic black and white ink option. I find this really helps with eye strain, especially when I'm reading or looking at documents and I don't want to be distracted or have any eye strain. What's beautiful about the max ink option is that it really imitates e-paper or e-ink in regards to battery life, and it bonuses as a digital minimalist mode. It really hyperfixates. When you switch it onto this mode, you can choose which apps you have access to, and more importantly, which apps you don't have access to. It also greatly increases the battery life. So if you find that your battery is getting low and you really want to preserve your battery, switch it on this mode and it will last for days. This is amazing. To have multiple devices in one single device is really game-changing, especially for someone like myself who struggles with smartphone addiction and sometimes just wants to have a focus mode with just a reading app, for example. You'll still have access to your essential apps like phone, messaging, or any apps that you designate to be activated in a specific mode. I find the Switch is a lot more handy than the previous design, which was going into the settings menu, activating the mode you wished. It just took a couple extra steps that I didn't think was necessary, so adding the physical Switch on the device really does make a world of difference in everyday use. Another thing I truly like about this device that is completely underrated is that it has a headphone jack. Now, you may find yourself using the headphone jack or Bluetooth headphones more often because it does have dual speakers on the device, but I find the speakers are a bit lacking. I know a lot of people don't use their speakers as much as I do perhaps, but I find that the sound is a bit tinny, so I do use my headphones quite often with this device, and I love having a physical headphone jack. It's just beautiful. I love it. Another big plus about this device is the battery life. It has a 5200 milliamp battery. The battery is massive, and your battery life will vary depending on your use case and which mode you're using, of course. If I'm just using the standard mode, it will go about a day and a half, of course, depending on the usage. I've been doing a lot of reading, so I've been really testing the battery as much as possible. Now, if you're consuming content, of course, it's going to go down depending on if you're connected to your network, so on and so forth. But overall, the battery is quite decent. And again, if you need to extend your battery life, you have the Max Ink option, which will extend it for days if needed. One thing I like about this device over e-ink or e-paper phones is that it has a higher refresh rate. Now, I do appreciate a good e-ink display for reading, for example, but if I'm switching between applications and I need to be productive, the blinking or the refresh can be quite irritating, especially if you're someone who's sensitive to screen refreshes. I am very sensitive, so having a device that has a higher refresh rate, also giving me the option to switch whether it is black and white or a color e-paper or e-ink type of display, or even the full ink mode, I think having these options and variability, especially for someone who has a varying condition, especially when it comes to vision, is really, really nice. I would consider this my ultimate accessibility tool because it has so many options to really modify how my vision is that particular day. I could have a difficult morning or a difficult afternoon, and knowing that my device can keep up with my needs and not having to switch devices or go onto my computer to see certain things is really, really valuable. I really find that the price point of this device is also an advantage. Devices like this, or digital minimalism devices, e-ink or e-paper devices, tend to be a bit more expensive, and I find that the price point for this particular device really meets my needs and my needs as somebody who is visually impaired. I really love this device, almost too much. For example, when I got this device, I just couldn't stop reading. If you're somebody who is visually impaired, you'll understand that reading is very difficult. A lot of devices aren't adapted, or if you use an e-ink or e-paper device such as a Kindle, you have to greatly modify it, and then you have to take that device with you if you feel the urge to read. So having a phone that is adapted for my visual needs and I can pick up and read has been amazing. But also, I've been reading so much that I've kind of let things go aside. I've just been consuming so many books because it feels so good to be able to read on my device again. Now, with that being said, there are some compromises for this device. It's not the best device for cameras, for example. It will get you by. Honestly, it's not bad. I've been using it and testing it with social media posts. Most people don't really notice because social media changes so much. Nobody's going to dwell that much on the quality. The one aspect I did notice some difference was video quality. I find that the video quality, at least for a content creator, is not up to par with other devices. But again, most people probably won't realize this or recognize it in day-to-day life. Another downside is it is not water resistant. It is splash resistant. It has an IP rating of 54, which means it will withstand certain splashing, raindrops, and things like this. But if you're somebody who likes to read in the bath like myself, this could be a risk if you drop your device. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty technical aspects, there is a downside if you're somebody who likes to install custom ROMs on your devices. This device does not allow you to do that. It is a locked bootloader, unfortunately, at least for my model and previous models that I've tested. So I can't modify it, and that's a downside because I'm not sure how long this device will be supported. It's not really specified on the website. I'm not sure how many Android updates it will receive. Currently, it is at Android 15. I'm hoping it's at least supported for a couple years. But after that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it will maintain security updates. I'm not sure how repairable the device is as well. What if I break the screen? Is the battery replaceable? I'm just not really certain about that. I know this is a lower end cost device, but that shouldn't excuse the repairability. It should be as repairable as possible, I believe. But that's some of the downsides of the device. I'll leave a link down below if you want to read more about the specifications, but overall, I'm really having a positive experience of the device. Another thing is the storage. It has massive storage by default, 256, but you can expand it with a micro SD up to 2 terabytes. And as somebody who likes to carry around their full music library on an SD card and store my photos, videos, any important files, I like to just be able to switch out that SD on multiple devices, and having a device that supports that is essential in my eyes. So if you're somebody who's on the market for a device that is easy on the eyes and just a real pleasure to use, I would highly recommend this device. It is more affordable than other devices on the market, and as far as accessibility tech is concerned, it is very affordable. I've been able to use this device for all of my accessibility applications, such as Be My Eyes, also using it for my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, so it does connect without issues. You can, of course, use all of the Google applications at your disposal. You can use open source applications, which I prefer to use, without any issues. If you're not on the market for a new phone, they also have tablets. So if you're somebody who likes to read on tablets or use tablets that are more eye-friendly, I definitely recommend checking out the whole NXTPAPER lineup. I have nothing negative to say about the NXTPAPER technology, except maybe the brightness in direct full sunlight. I find that the device does get bright enough to read in sunlight, and there's no glare, of course, with the matte display, but I feel like it could be brighter. That's just my only complaint. But I have this problem with any device, to be honest, except for e-ink devices in particular. If you're curious about what comes in the box, it comes with the phone, of course, some papers for quick setup guides, a USB-C charging cable, and what I didn't know, it came with a TPU case. I had ordered another case, but I find that the TPU case works well. I ordered the mint green model, so you can see that the case reflects that. I think they have a space gray color as well, but the colors may vary according to where you live, which devices are available, so definitely keep that in mind. The build quality itself is much better than the TCL NXTPAPER 40 device that I had. I found that the device felt a bit cheap, especially the back of the device and the sides of the device. I find the build quality has improved greatly since I've tested that model. It feels like it's getting better and better with each iteration. It is still a lesser quality back, but much higher than the previous models. I feel that the plastic is better. The sides of the device feel very sturdy. It feels like it's going to last a bit longer than the previous models. But again, it's a 200 euro device, so don't expect the highest quality or the highest feeling in the device itself. So that's my global overall view. I've been using this device for the past month exclusively. I love this device. I'm going to continue using this device. It is my favorite device. Again, I love that it has the option to be a digital minimalist device if I want it to be, but it can also be a full-fledged smartphone, and it just has everything I need. It's the perfect balance for what I'm looking for when using a digital device intentionally, and with the fact that I'm visually impaired and have to take that into account as well. I would like to give a big shout out to the channel members and thank you so much for supporting the channel. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching and see you soon.